Okay. Hey, hey, hey. We are on live with Daz and Slinga. I can't see you in mine, babe. Mr. Slinga. I can see you.
It's all good. I mean, let me see if I can move over. Let me see. Can you see me? Nah, yours is...
Move your chair like right here.
You
don't want to be too close?
No, I don't want to be too close.
You think I got the cooties or something?
Nah, you good.
Oh, okay.
Let me see. Could you see me? Nah, you can't see me because your
computer's because of the computer. That's why.
All right, that works. But they don't got to see me fully.
Yeah, we do.
Let me see.
There you go.
All right, that works.
All right.
All right.
Well, welcome to the live Facebook Live, Daz and Slinga. This is our second week, and we have some great things that. First, let me just start off with something positive. Today, I went to a new church because I just wanted to have like a backup church so that I don't have to travel so far all the time. And I Googled the non-denominational church. And I'm not going to give the name of it just yet because today's my first day. I had an enjoyable time. I got a rhema word, and but I'm just going to pump my brakes in mentioning the church for now. But the thing that the pastor was saying was good because he was saying how this is our time to recover what's been stolen or lost. And he was saying, when you lose something, how you have that feeling of a sense of loss. And he said, that's with material things, but have you lost your spirituality, your connection with God? And sometimes in this crazy world that we live in, we can kind of lose our spirituality and our connection with God because we listen to the news, we listen to social media, we listen to the naysayers in our lives. Sometimes the naysayers may be family, sometimes they may be friends, what have you. So I just want to start this session off by saying to seek to recover the things that have been lost and or stolen from you. That it's not too late to live your dreams and achieve your goals, regardless of how old you are or what you're going through, what people have said you can or cannot do. It's not too late. Seek to recover that. So I share that with you before we get started.
All right, that's deep. What I wanna do in the future. Good evening, Maurice Mo Slinga Williams, Darlene Daz Aiken, and you are now live at the table with Daz and Slinga. Thank you for tuning in. What I want to do is start off with a song. This song been ringing in my ears all week. So I wanna play this song just for anybody, for the special ladies out there, and also for the brothers that have a special lady. You know what I mean? Let's get a couple of minutes to just pay homage to the special ladies out there. You know what I mean? Whether it be your mother, your sister, your wife, your daughter, whatever. You know what I mean? We just always gotta big our ladies up, brothers. All right, hold on for a second. Vibe with me, cause we ain't in the studio. A lot of you young whippersnappers might not know about this here neither. It's acting crazy.
I told you.
Oh, it's coming up, but it's buffering, right? I don't know. Metro PCS, you acting crazy. All right, you know what? Oh, here you go.
Is it coming?
I think so.
You need a drum roll?
Yeah, drum roll, please. You know what?
Listen anywhere.
Oh, we got to do the commercials?
See, this is the bull crap, like.
You can't X out of that?
I'm trying to.
All your music, no interruptions. YouTube Red.
You might have to sing it for us.
Hey, that's not gonna happen.
No? You need a beat? You need a beat?
Oh, there we go. All right, check it out. This is my joint.
Oh, Ray Goodman and Brown.
Ah, man, see this. Come on, man. You know what?
Okay, that's taking too long.
Yeah, it's taking too. Could you put it on the computer?
Okay, so
No, it's going. Okay.
Is that the remix?
Y'all can hear that? Put it on the computer, man. Excuse me, guys. Nah, it's
Okay, I think they get the gist.
Me sitting on top of the world. Sitting on top of the world.
Can you all hear that?
Can they hear that? Look at what they. I can't see what they say. Let me look what they say.
Okay, they okay.
All right, that's enough.
That's enough. They get the gist of it.
All right. Oh, thank you, Wanda. What's up, Wanda? Wanda know about it.
Okay. So now it doesn't want to stop. Okay,
all right,
so
that's it.
We're going to talk about a few hot topics today. All right. So one, we want to talk about. I have this thing with the taking of your money, these systems, and I don't know if it's just me that is vexed about it, but I have a problem with your utilities people. If you need storage space, anybody that your creditors, when they say, oh, we'll give you a discount if you let us have access to your bank account. So it's like, oh, so you give me a discount to have easy access to my money, but then penalize me if I don't give you easy access to the money that I work for. I just have a problem, and I just feel like I want to get to the point where I fight for legislation. Slinga says I'm crazy. That I want to fight for legislation that says I should not be penalized because I don't want to give you my debit or credit card or my routing and account number for you to go in and take my money. So I'm going to put EasyPass on blast for a moment. We go through EasyPass. We go through the tunnels like crazy. Not the tunnels, but the tolls like crazy, right? And we took out a certain amount that we wanted from our account based on our travel. And one day we look in our account and EasyPass has taken extra money. And they decided that they wanted to take the extra money because they said, oh, well, we looked at your pattern and we just went ahead and took the extra money based on your pattern of going through the tolls. And I'm like, wait a minute, how do you get to just go in my account and take out my money based on my pattern without having some kind of conversation with me? And I spoke to some friends of mine who are attorneys, and they're like, oh, yeah, but legislators have bigger fish to fry, and, no one is going to fight for that. I beg to differ. They may not have the same situation where people are telling them, well, because you're a senator or a lawyer, or not even a lawyer, but a senator or a, legislator or the mayor, maybe no one's taking that money out of your account. But working class people every day, I wouldn't care if I got to be Beyonce style. I don't want you taking money out of my account when you want to. And I don't want you giving me a discount because I give you easy access to the money that I work for. What are your thoughts about that? Does anybody have a problem with that, or am I just being anal?
No, not at all. I believe that when you come to know me, you're going to come to know that I'm what they call a conspiracy theorist, right?
Yeah, I am too.
So I look at it like this. I got the notion that they are trying to recreate slavery, one civil liberty at a time, right? So what happens is that Hitler didn't enslave the Jews, do all that stuff he did to them in one day. It was a process. Right, so it was a process. He started to take one civil liberty away at a time until all of them are gone. So now, slavery never went nowhere. Really, discrimination never went nowhere. So they're just upgrading it. So now it's going to be like you're going to work, and everything that you need is going to come out of your check before you even touch your money, right? And then what's left over, you'll be able to buy food. But for your utilities, for your car, for your rent, everything is going to come out of your direct deposit account. And if you don't have the money in your direct deposit account, guess what? Those people are going to charge you a fee for not having it. It's just going to mess up your life. So you're going to have to conform. And then eventually you won't be you won't have any money. You will either have a card to pay your bills or a chip, but you won't have any money in your hand. So now, guess what? This take away the modernization of slavery. Those slaves didn't get paid at all. They worked, they slept, they did whatever they needed to do within the constraints of whoever the slave master was, but they never actually got no money. So now we're gonna get to work, we're gonna get to do whatever it is that we want to do, but we're not gonna have money. So that's they're gonna take our money away from us and just make you robots. So if you could see that, it's just one civil liberty at a time that they're gonna take away, keep taking away. Oh, you can't. I'll go to the smallest form. You just can't make a left turn if you're a driver in New York City. If you pay attention, you can't really make left turns. You know what I mean? So they're going to take away civil liberty one by one until we find ourselves in slavery. That's what I think. My conspiracy theories lead me to believe that they are working back towards putting us back in some form of slavery. And again, like we spoke about last week, it's not a coincidence that 50% of the African American men in New York don't have jobs. That is by design. It's a scheme coming down the pike that if we don't unify and start respecting each other and doing black business, we're gonna be on the receiving end some real bad stuff.
Yeah, I see that Dr. Myra Brown Green has joined and she's watching. Thank you. Thank you to everyone who's watching, but it's so apropos that you said about black business when Dr. Green, she and her husband, knew this about black business years and years ago, and they were very instrumental in the raising of my son Malik through their school. They believed in educating the village, and that's what they did. And right. It starts with educating ourselves as well as our children, but mostly important our children to understand the different kind of can-do spirit, so that it's easier to start them off with that than to get them to do it after the type.
Tracy said, hold on, guys. Tracy said what? What did she say, Tracy Turner?
We will not fold to slavery again. I believe they want a controlled society. Consumers are Definitely. On one side of the thinking and rarely see the big picture immediately.
That's definitely true, Tracy. That is definitely true. We are not willingly going to conform to slavery. However, if we're not conscious of what's happening, it's going to be pretty right. easy because we fell for it the first time.
Right, and they make things easy for you. So, for instance, going back to Easy Pass, right? They'll tell you if you have 3 or more people in the car, you can go buy for $5. So, what are we going to do? We're going to have 3 or more people in the car to go buy for $5. But even so, you have to have Easy Pass in order for that to work. So that's a tracking system, right? It's a way for them to still be in your bank account. Because you can have 3 or more people and not have Easy Pass, you still have to pay the full toll.
Copy. I feel you, Tracy. I hear you. We ain't going down without a fight this time, but we just need to be conscious.
Yeah, and we do, and we have to make sure that we understand that conveniences will be the thing that make us slip back, right? Because if enough of us said, you know what, forget the $5, I'm willing to pay the full fare just to keep you out of my bank account, mm-hmm. Guess what's going to happen? They can't track you. So now they got to come up with a different system, because the ultimate goal is not really to give you the discount, it's to track you. And it's to control your bank account. But if they can't control your bank account, enough people say, forget it.
Just imagine this, people, like you work and somebody else controls your money.
Right.
Right. And you know, like it's crazy when they take the money out. Who is honest enough that's watching to say that, like, sometimes your money be imbalanced and they take it off and you get all these overcharges or all these overdraft fees and all this stuff because they playing in your money when they want to play it.
Right, because you have your money slated for different things, right? Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter. It doesn't only happen to poor people or working class people. There was something the other day on the news when they said Shaquille O'Neal went into Walmart to buy $10,000 worth of electronics, mm-hmm. and they declined his card.
Okay.
You know, and he was like, I know I didn't go broke overnight, but they declined his card because it showed some kind of different activity. But you understand? It showed different activity, which means they're tracking
We don't
you.
want to spend too much time on it. Sorry to interrupt, but thanks for your comments. We're going to close that segment by we don't want to leave it open.
Still make your comments though. Post your comments.
Definitely, the thing to do to quell the situation is to support black business. Support black business.
But wait, black business that supports you, because we have some black businesses that are not doing the right thing.
Right.
Support black businesses that support you. Don't support them just because they black. Don't support any business for the sake of supporting them. Make sure they're doing the right thing.
Right. And we do have power. Our voice, black people's voice, their power is in economics. When we start learning how to deal with economics properly, we will see the same results as the other cultures in this country. They know how to deal with economics. They know how to flip their money within their own communities first before they let it out. Again, I'm gonna say, like they said, a Jewish dollar goes through like 10 people, 10 Jewish businesses before it leaves their community. Let that sink in. One Jewish dollar goes through 10 Jewish businesses before it leaves their community. And we're gonna go on to the next thing. But the thing to conclude that for right now is to quell all of that is supporting black business. All right, so the next thing on the matter on the table, excuse me, is Bill Cosby and R. Kelly. I'm gonna let you start off with let's start off with Bill first. What do you think of this whole situation with Bill Cosby?
Wow, I have a lot. I think a lot. I don't want to say that he's guilty or innocent. I wasn't there. I don't know. What I will say is that I knew that this was going to happen to Bill. I didn't know what, but I knew something was going to happen to Bill. When years ago, Bill wanted to buy a major network. Let's stop there. Okay.
Wait, oops.
Bill has had positive programming for a very long time. Yes, he started off with things like Let's Do It Again and Fat Albert, the kids. But I remember him doing picture pages, helping me teach my son.
I feel you too, Wanda. Excuse me. I feel you too, Wanda. We got to handle our own money. I know some old people, some older people that still write checks. But go ahead. I'm sorry, Daz.
And we have to make sure. Well, no, you threw me off. I'm sorry. So what I want to say is that picture pages back in the day, he taught young kids how to read, how to do shapes and recognize shapes and all of these things. So for years, he has consistently had more positive programming than he's had negative. I mean, Oprah Winfrey even started off with negative programming, right? But my point is this: when he, in their minds, got so beside himself that he thought he was big enough and in more control enough to want to own a major network, that would have definitely changed the lives of people of color.
Definitely.
The Cosby Show changed people's lives.
Mm-hmm,
so surely if he owned the network to have even more positive programming, what would we think of ourselves? When you look at when you look at the Huxtables, you have at least 3 generations of how to view them, right? When I first viewed them, I viewed them from the eyes of a child. So I could relate to Theo and his sisters, right? Now I view them from the eyes of a parent. Eventually, I will view them from the eyes of a grandparent. And it's all relevant, right? Mm-hmm. So that now when he decided that he wanted to own a major a major TV station, that was too much. And in their minds, he's thinking, oh, you know what? You've gotten beside yourself. So what he did, I remember this distinctly. He had asked different people for help. He had gone to Oprah Winfrey, Michael Jordan, and Spike Lee. Mm-hmm. At that time, Oprah wasn't who she is. Spike Lee was who he was, but not to the level that he is now. We didn't have social media, and Michael Jordan wasn't who he was. So they put out a price, and they said, this is how much the station is going for. Bill said, okay, I want to buy it. They upped the price. They did this a few times. He went in and got some investors. They did it, and the investors pulled out, saying that it was too heavy for their pockets. He then went to Goldman Sachs, who at the time was one of the top brokerage firms in the world. And I was working at Goldman Sachs at that point down in Wall Street area. And when Bill Cosby would come, they would lock us on whatever floor we were on. They would lock us on that floor for security reasons. And you couldn't leave that floor until Bill Cosby left. Goldman Sachs said to Bill Cosby, whatever the price is, we got you. That's when then they said it's no longer for sale. Shortly thereafter, his son winds up dead. Right? Now, all of a sudden, sometime down the road, talk about conspiracy theorists, sometime down the road, Michael Jordan's father ends up dead, right? Spike Lee has problems in the system of ACS. You know, so it's just like, and some people may say, well, they didn't mess with Oprah. Well, Oprah's a woman. Oprah doesn't, women don't have the same kind of power that men have.
I want you to stay.
So I'm saying all of this to make a point. What happens is when you get beside yourself in this society as a black person, particularly a black man, they will do things to come against you, to make you look like a bad person and to leave you with a tainted legacy. And we have too many black men who this happens to, right? Except for the ones who shut up, like Michael Jordan, who they killed his father and said, shut up. And he did. And he does nothing for us. Bill Cosby continued, and then that's when they killed his son. Then they got him for the illegitimate kid. Then he went around saying that black men should pull up their pants and take care of their families, and we came against him for that. Now it's this with all of these women. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that if anybody is violated, a woman, a child, a man, anyone is violated, then yeah, people need to pay for that. But there needs to be some kinds of checks or balances. Women can't just go around saying that someone touched them. And some people, you know, I get flack from friends and other females.
Let me get an executive summary, Dad.
Okay. The executive summary is this. Again, I'm not saying he's right or wrong. I don't know. I wasn't there. But what I am saying is this, that Bill Cosby is a target because he did try to make a difference in the black society, in the psyche of young black people. And now he is a target. Okay.
All right. That's an executive summary. I respect that. So we A alike, we be alike, and a lot of times we see alike. So in that regard, I agree with much of what you said. Anybody that tries to move the culture forward is definitely a target. We see that with all our great leaders, that they use the. I just posted on my Facebook the other day that somebody spent a lot of money to destroy Mr. Cosby's legacy. So in the powers that be are really after him for whatever the reasons may be, and the obvious reason would be for him trying to make us rise. You know what I mean? So I see the memes and stuff. Some of the memes are funny because the world is just comedy is comedy. You can make comedy out of everything, but I don't want people to be confused with the propaganda that's being used to kind of dilute what's happening. You know what I mean? We got a lot of politicians, a lot of white politicians and white men that's in positions of influence and power that are out there that have been accused of similar things and worse things, and they are not being convicted of these crimes. They're not even being tried in criminal cases. You know what I mean? And it's really crazy that Bill Cosby's thing, his stuff is like over 30 years allegations and stuff like that. So, when is there a statute of limitation on certain things? Are they making new laws just to convict this man? We are seeing things that are illegal, and we are seeing laws being made up as they go. You know what I mean? And this is supposed to be a society that's founded on sound and practical government tactics and actions, and you see all kinds of laws being bent and instituted to convict one of our great leaders. So please, people, don't be confused by the propaganda that's used to that they putting out there to persuade us into thinking that one of our great forefathers, because he ain't. Don't be confused. Don't let them trick us into believing that a man that's so special and crucial to the development of our culture don't let them do that to your mind. That's a trick. You know what I'm saying? It's the Jedi mind trick. You know what I'm saying? So,
but he could also be guilty too, though.
Yeah, I mean, hey, a lot of if he is, and there's a lot of other people that are guilty too, but
Right.
they are not even being tried. Could you look at the page? Maya said something, and I can't see it from here, so we gotta.
You're right. I'm turning to yours now.
So even like the lady, they got something out. Like the lady that admitted to having Emmett Till killed, right? She's in her 80s too. They didn't prosecute her, and they didn't. And you know, murder has no statute of limitations, so they didn't prosecute her mainly because of her age, right? So it's the same thing with Bill. Like he 80-something years old. What y'all trying to do? Y'all trying to send the man to jail or die? You know what I mean? And
yeah, they want to taint his legacy.
So, but more importantly, and I'm gonna get off it real quick. More importantly, is this: if you look at TV now, we don't have any positive black shows that advocate for young black people going to college, young black people having a mother and a father. Claire Huxtable was a lawyer, and Cliff Huxtable was a doctor.
But
and
even back in Good Times days, you had a strong black father.
All of their children, definitely, all of their children were going to college and you know had positive positive futures ahead of them because of what their parents created. So if they now, again, there's none of that on TV now. All we got is these ratchet shows,
Housewives of everywhere,
yeah, and all of those different kind of reality shows that depict black people doing anything just for a little bit of fame, right? So the Cosby Show, it represents something that they don't want to see with the black family. So of course they're going to destroy his legacy, and every time you even think about him, his name,
you're going to think of
something negative. You know what I'm saying? So just be mindful of this. Bill Cosby was convicted off of the testimony of white women, right? And peep this: Emmett Till was killed off the testimony of a white woman, right? Saying that he did something that he didn't do, and they killed that boy. And years later, she said that she was lying, right? Think about that, right? And we're gonna leave that alone. Bill, is no evidence. Emmett Till was killed based because somebody said he did something that we found out later that he didn't even say. Bill Cosby was convicted because of something some women are saying with no evidence. How do you get convicted without evidence?
Supposedly he said he did it, but it was consensual. You know, and think about back in the day. I remember being
there's no evidence.
But I remember being a kid and hearing teenagers, my older brother and sister, and them talking about Spanish Fly and how boys and girls and men and women.
I remember Spanish Fly as a young person. Like it was, you know,
right. It's something that women and men partake. You know,
Tracy said
Tracy said Bill Cosby is no longer beneficial to the monetary sense to the business. All that is to be made off of him is done. R. Kelly can still draw a buck, but they will slowly tear him down. Sadly, it's all politics.
Definitely. We got Stephen Curtis joined in. We got the brother Rob that joined in. What's up, Rob? All right, so we gonna go to R. Kelly now.
Oh gosh.
So we did Bill Cosby. The thing we're gonna end up with Bill Cosby is that they convicted our to me like my pops. So we just gonna call him a pops for the night. They convicted pops for the testimony of a bunch of white women. I ain't feeling that.
Well, there were some black women in there too, and they recently said that Tempest Bledsoe, his TV daughter, she said that he inappropriately touched her.
I ain't hear that. Where you get that from?
I mean, I just heard it. I don't know.
Hey,
I don't know the validity of.
That's inadmissible. We don't.
But that would make him a pedophile. Yeah, so that's Then that's a great segue to R. Kelly.
Yeah, you funny. That's funny. You going down for that? All right, R. Kelly. What's up?
What I would just say with regard to R. Kelly, especially with this in light of this new thing with R. Kelly, they're saying that now the girl she was a minor, but now, and we're running out of time.
Hey, it's Sunday. They're gonna let us.
No, we're running out of time.
I need to eat too, right? But,
so
put it on my page. Somebody said something.
R. Kelly, you know, I just want to say too. I want to ask too. We are parents. Like, we got to stop relinquishing our children to just anyone just because they have a title or they are somebody. We'll go to Aaliyah. Like Aaliyah was dealing with him when he was young, and her parents apparently thought it was okay because supposedly he was married to her or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, where are the parents? That's all I want to say. I mean, I know parents can't be the only influence in their children's lives, but I don't know. I can't relate to that because I was on top of stuff with my son. Granted, I only had one, but I loved him so much that there's just certain things I'm not having.
As a boy,
I'm just a different parent. It wouldn't matter if he were a girl or if I had a daughter. I'm just not allowing certain things to happen because I am his parent. And I am responsible for certain things that would happen. And I needed to let people know that if you even think of doing certain things, it's going to be a problem.
Well, I feel you. So my take on the R. Kelly thing is going to be different because I look at stuff from different angles sometimes, just to get different understanding in different ways. Because our understanding might suit our life and our way of thinking, but it just might differ from other cultures and stuff like that and other ways of thinking. So I like to examine things from a different lens. So I'll start off by saying I don't believe that dating being with a woman that's under a certain age is good for me because of where I am intellectually. Like I prefer to be with a woman that, or involved with women that are on my level intellectually and have, or we don't have to necessarily be on my level. We don't have to both have a master's degree or nothing like that. But we need to have the same amount of life experience. Like you need that, or somewhere close to it. So that would make me be in my age group. I would be, going 7 years up and 7 years, maybe like 10 years up and 10 years down. I ain't gonna say 7, 10 years up and 10 years down. And I take a page out of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's teachings. He said that a woman should be half your age plus 7. You know what I mean? So that's what I calibrate the level of engagement with females when it's in terms of age.
Executive summary.
Executive summary?
Yes.
Okay. In some cultures, it's all right to.
But we're not in those cultures. This is the American culture.
Yeah, but we're not.
To be with a minor.
But again, okay. So my point is, in this country, is the age limit is whatever they are. But in certain different in Africa, how do we know if it's okay? The age.
I mean, when I was over in Africa, I saw 13-year-olds
with grown people, right?
With grown men, but they're pushing to fight against that.
Right. Well, and in that regard, I get it. So, but
yeah,
but I say that.
When is it ever okay to urinate on a minor?
No, that's not. That right there is just something totally crazy. But the thing is this: if people have women have minds, like you have a mind, you know right from wrong at an early age.
It says supposedly 7.
Right. So if a young woman decides that she wants to be intimately involved with R. Kelly, she put herself in that position to happen for that to happen.
To some degree.
She did. She went to his concert. She went somewhere around him. She put herself
again. If she's 15, how is she going to a concert without parental consent? Her mother and father are not questioning where she's at a certain time. That she's spending the night out. Who is she going to the concert with?
That's not. Well, that's a parent's job, but that's not his job.
That's my point.
His job as he's not, to me, I would say
it's his job to be a freak because he's a freak.
No, I would
but
say
it's
this.
It's her parents' responsibility to be a parent because they're
right.
a parent.
So if it's publicly known that he's a freak
or not,
right? No, it's publicly known that he's a freak.
But even if it's not, because we have some freaks who we don't know about them publicly. But you know that you're your child's parent, period. So now, I heard on the radio the other day, they were saying something about, young girls accepting plane trips. How the heck is a young girl 15 able to take a plane trip and her parent has no participation in that? That to me is absurd. R. Kelly needs to go to jail, and so does that girl's parent, because we don't need to say, well, who's going to parent the child if the parent goes to jail? Well, obviously they're not doing that anyway. So send their butts up the river with R. Kelly.
Well, I think I definitely think that the reason that I think what he's doing is wrong is because he's taking the advantage of the mind of a child. You know what I mean? Like these young women don't know what they're doing, and they don't know what they're doing it for. So he shouldn't, as an adult man with, just a conscious adult man, a sound thinking, a man with just a sound thinking man,
which he's not,
would not allow himself to be intimately involved with a young woman that isn't fully developed, that isn't fully developed mentally.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's where he's wrong. But on the physical aspect of it, you could see a young woman that's not mentally developed, but she's physically developed.
But when she opens her mouth, it's a
but he's not connecting to the mental part. He's connecting to the physical part. So he's dealing with animalistic behavior. You know what I mean? He's just responding to his animalistic behavior because the body is grown, but the mind is underdeveloped. So how do you deal with that? Like he's imbalanced in that way, dealing with like her mind ain't right, but her body is right. Well, if her body right, then so he's fighting with understanding that, I would think. You know what I mean? And so he's wrong for not being able to be composed enough to be like, you know what? Although her body is developed, her mind isn't. I'm gonna have to fall back because I'm a certain kind of dude. So that goes into his psyche. So
Well, R. Kelly needs his behind whooped, and guess what? A lot of these kids today, I believe in spankings and naps. Whoop their tails and send them for a nap. They'll get over it and think about it the next day.
All right, we offer that.
I believe in a beating. I don't care what the system say. Beat your kid.
I don't
want to say beat your kids because some people will go and beat their kids and beat them bloody and kill them. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about spankings. Kids need spankings.
Well, hey, I'm that's a topic.
That's another topic.
Yeah, that's a topic for another day. Because I don't really necessarily believe in putting your hands on kids, like on children. I don't know.
As a parent, I don't think fathers should beat their daughters, spank their daughters, but I think mamas should spank their daughters and their sons, and fathers should spank their sons.
Well, I beg to differ, but like we said, we're going to get back to that later. We got another topic that we want to talk about.
Well, no, we don't, because we got to go.
No, one more.
No, it's 9 o'clock already. We don't.
Well, we started late, though.
We only have 2 people watching it.
But that's what you see, but that's not what it really is.
I think we should go and leave them with a cliffhanger. Let's leave them with a cliffhanger, and we'll get them next week.
Okay.
Tune in and tell your friends to tune in.
She wants to be out, so we gonna have to shut it down for the day. But see, your thing is different from mine. It's like you bugging. Like we don't move off of what other people do. We move on our own accord. We got something else to discuss.
I know, but we don't want to.
Mine's is different from yours.
Okay, it's mine.
Mine's. I said mine's. I know it's MINE. I ain't say MIND.
I know it's Slinga.
Right.
Slinga slang.
Leave me alone.
Right.
So I want to, because this is important to me. I want to discuss.
Okay, go ahead.
This topic is alpha males and alpha females.
What is that? I never understood that.
To look it up, where's the dictionary?
That's a sorority to me and a fraternity. No. I don't understand. There's certain terminology that I don't subscribe to because I just don't understand it, and I believe that it's boxed communication, and I refuse to. People say think outside of the box. I say forget the box altogether. I'm not interested in the box. I'm unboxable. So I don't know what that alpha male and alpha female thing.
Well, we're gonna get the definite. We're gonna get the definitions from the dictionary.
Yeah, and I'm starting not to believe the dictionary so much because bootylicious is in the dictionary, so anything can go in the dictionary.
Okay, it says alpha male, the dominant male animal in a particular group. 2 of them trotted over the Greek, the alpha male, a black wolf, and a graying muzzle. Okay, so it says a man tending to assume a dominant or domineering role in social or professional situations.
But shouldn't that be all men?
Yes.
So, I'm sorry.
You don't. I mean, but
so what is an alpha female?
All right. That's what I really want to talk about because men are supposed to be dominant. Men are supposed to be outgoing, but they got this thing with females talking about I'm an alpha female. So. They don't say what it is. They just say
because it's not a word. It's not. It doesn't exist. It's some crap that some group of people made up.
Wait, let me see. Wait a minute. No, there. Wait, I put alpha male. Let me see. This is alpha female.
Yeah, I don't.
it doesn't even have a definition of it.
Because it's not real. It's
Right.
some crap.
It's something that
Eventually,
it
it will
doesn't
be
have a
in the
definition.
dictionary like conversate. It's converse.
Right. Okay, but it says it's 10 signs you are an alpha woman. Right. Let's just deal. Let's see that 10 ways you are alpha. 10 ways.
Just
to tell
read the bullets.
All right. The spotlight is always on you.
First of all, what is this source though?
It's just it says the lifehack.org.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Is this written by?
Oh no, it actually is the Urban Dictionary.
Oh, okay.
The Urban Dictionary is going to give us a definition of it. So I want
the 10 signs.
You want the 10 signs?
Alpha female.
You want the 10 signs or you want the alpha female?
Okay.
I'm gonna give you the 10 signs. That's what you want first. I'm gonna give you the 10 signs, and then we're gonna define it. Right? It says 10 signs you are an alpha woman. The spotlight is always on you. Number 1. Number 2, you live with purpose. Number 3, you are not afraid of being alone. Number 4, you understand the importance of balance. Number 5, you embrace change. Number 6, you know how to love. Number 7, you are very much misunderstood. Number 8, you are an uncontrollable risk taker. Number 9, you know that you don't know.
What is that?
Number 9 is you know that you don't know.
Okay.
Number 10, you never give up. That is
That's stupid.
Yeah, that doesn't even sound right.
Like what's
That doesn't even sound
Again,
right.
this is why I don't subscribe to certain things.
Okay, well, let me give you the dictionary of it. The dictionary definition. It says an alpha female is a dominant female in a group. She dates as many males as she wants. Now, this is what I'm talking about. That the ladies out here are saying, I'm an alpha female. And I'm like, well, what does that mean? That you have stepped outside of the norm of man, woman, and child, and you want it to be woman, man, and child? Or what do you mean by that? You know what I mean? So, all right, here it goes. The alpha female is a dominant female in the group. She dates as many males as she wants, is strong and confident, and a hard worker as well as often busy. She is usually sarcastic because she's powerful and playful. Alpha females are intelligent, intellectual problem solvers, and though being an alpha female is more of a state of mind than a physicality, that's what I wanted to say. It's just a state of mind. So being an alpha female is more of a state of mind than a physicality. An alpha female understands that dressing up or sexy increases her power in society, so she does it. Alpha females are often terribly misunderstood by beta or lesser males, as evident by other posts about alpha females.
So what is a beta male?
I don't know what a beta male is.
Listen,
so we got to look up for that, right?
So
I guess beta would be like a nonchalant dude, like a chill dude, like that's not really with that's not aggressive.
Yeah, but
right?
I think anybody has the ability to be aggressive given the right situation.
She said alpha females are often terribly misunderstood by beta and lesser males, as evident by
males.
That right
there
there
is derogatory.
Yes. As evident by other posts about alpha females, and when this happens, she's called a bunch of curse words: a B, a C, and whatever. Alpha females prefer passion over romance. Although if it's romance coming from an alpha male, a hot one, that's another story. So basically, what this is
people trying to box you, put you in a box.
No, basically, to me, what an alpha female is a female that wants to lead the relationship, and a female that has male characteristics. You know what I mean? And so it's a lot of that going on out here. I hear that. I see women posting that in their Instagram and they stuff. It's like, yo, alpha female that's almost, you close to being a stud. You know what a stud is?
You know what? No, that's another term that I don't
It's a stud.
subscribe to.
That's what's close to being a stud.
And again, that's about trying to
but...
box people in. I am unboxable. I do not subscribe to an alpha male.
Could you?
Alpha female.
All right, we definitely about to get out of here right
Tracy
now. Tracy
said that's a topic. Is a show exactly
that whole?
Yeah.
It is. No. It is. I can't really, put a finger on it because you can't really try to stop nobody from being who they are. And they said it's more of a frame of mind than an actual physicality. So you can't tell nobody how to think. If a female wants to think she's an alpha female, usually to me, I think stuff like that come from pain. So she's been hurt before or something happened in your life and you don't want it to happen again. So you adapt behaviors and a mindset that are not that are not associated with who they are naturally. So you start thinking like a man and acting like a dude and be like, I'm an alpha male, because you don't want to get hurt no more. So for me, to summarize that whole thing, when a woman says she's an alpha male, that just reveals a level of hurt that she doesn't want to endure anymore.
Okay, Shimon Simpson said, that sounds about right. I think it's a state of mind. New topic.
Okay, she want to get up on. I'm like, oh, she said she want to get up off of that. All right, so we off of that.
So, this concludes. It's called Dating Pain. Tracy said it's called Dating Pain. The game is different. We got to have Tracy come on.
Yeah, right. Really quickly, I want to see. I forget the young girl's name from Brooklyn that they found. Could you Google her name for me, please?
Oh, yes. Yeah, in Canarsie, right?
Yeah, I have to. I really have to say something about that. Like, I haven't reposted it on my page, and I haven't logged it in, and I haven't spoken about it a lot. But it bothers me a lot to think that it's a person out here that is crazy enough to chop up a young woman's body, you know what I mean?
Anybody, like a whole chicken.
No, I'm specifically more concerned with African American women. I have an African American daughter that's beautiful, just like that girl, around the same age, and that is scary to me. You know what I'm saying? We don't know who did that, what it was about, if it was somebody that knew her, if it's some type of gang stuff, if it's some type of psycho ass divine evil out here, you know what I mean? Exacting some type of whatever, you know what I mean?
Brandy Odom.
Brandy Odom.
Yeah, 26.
I would just like to say, give my heartfelt condolences.
Yeah,
to Brandy. Her last name is Odom.
Yes.
And her loved ones. And we pray. I pray that I don't wish jail on nobody or nothing bad on anybody, but I wish they find you real fast, whoever you are, and get you off the street, man. Because I don't even want to really expound too much on that. But rest in peace, that sweet soul of that young lady. She was so beautiful, so beautiful. Rest in peace to her. And that's all I had to say for the night. Daz, you can take us out.
All right. I want to say thank you all for tuning in, whether you're live or whether you tune in after. Thank you. We will be back again next week, Sunday at 8:30. And if you have some topics that you want to discuss, or you want to hear, not that you want to discuss, but you want to hear us talk about, please inbox me, all right? Or inbox Maurice. All right, so until next week, be safe, Godspeed, be blessed, and have a great evening. Good night.
Okay, I'm about to get my eat on.